Hey, good morning and welcome to first episode of Stir It Up. So today you're going to be doing some grilling on the egg. Going to probably be throwing on a rack of ribs here in a little bit. But first things first, we need to get the egg prepped, get it cleaned, get it up to temp before it's ready to go. So I'll show you how to do that. A little cold out here today, so I brought my coffee out with me. Once we get that going, then we'll be good and ready. We'll go in for phase 2 and we'll start putting the meat and the rub together. So first things first with the egg. I've been using this a lot lately, so I like to get just a regular broom, dustpan. If you've got your egg tool, it's easy to do. Make it open. I'm going to make sure that you get all of that old ash out of there. The way the egg works is it gets solid airflow to get you to the right temps that you need. So if you don't have the right airflow, then you're not going to reach your right temps. As you can see, mine's pretty dirty. I did Thanksgiving turkey on this a couple weeks ago. Turned out pretty good. Usually just take a couple grocery bags and fill them up. Easy to clean up and dispose out in the garbage. Alright. I still have charcoal in here from my last, so it's the beauty of the egg. You can reuse old charcoal that didn't all burn. I'll be doing ribs today, so that's generally going to be about a 4 to 5 hour burn that I'm going to need to prep for. So I like to move around the old ash, kind of get some of that out beforehand. Next steps. You can get this pretty much any grocery store close to you. You just want to make sure that you get the 100% natural. You don't want to use anything that's got lighter fluid or starter fluid or anything in it, or that's not going to be healthy. You don't want to eat on that, so it's not going to burn right on the egg. So just make sure you get 100% natural wood chunks. Here's where some of the art comes in. Everybody does this a little differently. So I've got some hickory smoked chips here that I like to use. I like to layer them to get different levels of smoke. So I'll take a handful, kind of spread them out in there. So I'll get them underneath. Then I'll do another layer of charcoal over the smoked wood. After that, then I'll throw in another little layer of wood chips to get an early smoke and then get a late burn smoke. But again, everybody does it a little differently, so you play around with it. All right. Now I got some wood starters in here. couple here. Helps get things moving a little faster. I can show you what those look like. So you can see once you get the egg prepped, usually I like to throw one in the middle. Just kind of TP around it a little bit. Make a little triangle, one over here, one over here. Just make sure you got the coal stacked up so you can get them lit. There we go. And get all 3 sections going. Now you just kind of want to let that go for a little bit. Make sure that you have your gate open when you're getting started. See what happens if you don't get all the ash out of there, you get a mess. It's okay. Have that open. Make sure you have your top off so you get full air. And then you're just gonna kind of sit and hang out for a little bit and let that start burning up a little bit and get started. Enjoy coffee. Or any other morning drink of choice. Now you can see that those starters are already going pretty good right now. And the lump charcoal's already starting to light up. So it's still going to take a little bit. I'm going to have plenty of air coming in. Just keep that completely open. Keep the lid open too. You don't want to close your lid while this part's going. You're going to leave your lid open, get as much air as possible so that can come through and really get the charcoal lit before you start trying to go and set, you know, whatever your preferred temperature is. So today, since I'm doing ribs, I like to slow cook them. So I drop them at about 250. It takes roughly 5 hours at about 250. There it goes. Now we're catching. The birds chirping today. We got a nice winter day out here. Nice view from the deck. It's a good day to be smoking ribs. Oh yeah. Let's see how that fire's doing. Yeah, now you can see some of the charcoal lumps are starting to whiten in here. That means they're catching. And those will start to spread. And if you want, you can move some charcoal around, get a little closer in there. Stacked up. The pyramid going. Just don't want to stifle it out, that's all. And another thing, when it first starts, you'll get a lot of this big gray smoke. A lot of that's from the initial fire. You really want to wait till, and I'll show you later, once you get this lid closed, you'll get all of that white smoke out of there, so you'll have a clear smoke. And that's kind of when you know that the temp's ready, the heat's going to stay steady and keep you where you need to be at that point. But Yeah, I like to let this go for, I don't know, at least 5 to 10 minutes to really catch before closing the lid. All right, now you can see all this white smoke coming out? Now it's really starting to light up. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Stir It Up. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot more of these coming out to you. Show you all kinds of different things to make on the smoker, cooking in the kitchen, favorite cocktails to go with these drinks. Chili, it feels good. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and shut that down. Let that start heating up a little bit. You just want to follow this here and see. Keep an eye on your temp. Little secret I learned here, because of where the thermometers are placed, they're usually about 50 degrees hotter inside than what this says. So if you're cooking at 250, according to this, you really want to keep it right around 200, maybe a little more in between 200, 225. And that's generally going to be an actual internal heat of 250. So just something to keep in mind when you're smoking. See, we're still getting all this gray smoke. I don't know if you can see that, but we want this gray smoke to turn clear before we're ready to throw food on. That's the beauty of the egg. It's fun. It takes a little while, then it's nice to have your other grill handy. You're gonna throw steaks on or something like that quick at night before dinner, but if you got the time to do it, everything's gonna taste better when you smoke it. All right, we're starting to heat up. Right now we're about 100, which, like I said, it's about 50 degrees differentiation from this, so puts us really closer to 150. Still spitting out all the gray smoke. Nothing else I'd rather be doing on a Thursday morning, getting the smoker ready. Just before Christmas. It's today, December 14th. Out here watching Stir It Up, just getting a little Christmas prep before we start really smoking a bunch of the good stuff here in a couple weeks. Another thing to look out for, so when you open your egg, you may have heard people say burp the egg. So that's when it gets to really hot temperatures. Say you're doing a pizza, you got your pizza oven on there, you're doing a steak or something like that, and you got high temperatures. Because of the pressure that builds up in here, if you just open this, you can get engulfed in flames. You don't want to do that. So when they say burp the egg, you just want to give it a little lift, get some of that air pressure out before lifting it up. There we go. I'm going to keep it open and get some more of the airflow going. Now that these coals are starting to catch now, they're starting to burn. spread them out a little bit so they can catch some of the other coals a little faster. There we go. We're gonna let that keep going, let the air keep catching it. Give it maybe another 5 minutes. Now we're heating up. Now we're heating up. should start getting some temps. It's a little chilly out here this morning for North Carolina. It's nice though. I like to wait and get mine to temp before I put in my racks. So we'll get it up to about the right temperature that we want to get it at, and then we'll put the racks in. And then I'll show you how to mess around with the airflow and getting it to stay where you want so you can get it to stay at a steady temp the whole time. Yeah, we're climbing now. Now we're cooking with gas. But not really. Oh, back up to 100. Stir it up, flames up. That's what we do around here. Nice. Now it's starting to climb, so it's pushing about 150 right now. It's starting to heat up. Start to feel get a little warm. See the smoke thinning out a little bit too. It's not quite as the deep gray smoke anymore. It's thinning, turning into more of a white smoke, which is what you want. That means all those fire starters have burned out at that point. And the clearer, lighter smoke means it's coming directly from the wood chips versus the fire starters. So that's just fake heat. You don't want to do your temp and heat based off the fire starter, because then it's not going to be accurate. That's why you got to give it a good 20 minutes or so. It takes about 20-25 minutes to really get the egg up and ramp to the temp that you want if you're taking your time with it. So we're almost at 200 degrees now, which is right about where I want it, because 200 here is closer to about 250 internal temp, which is where I like to smoke my pork ribs. It's not quite there yet. It's still climbing. So we still got a couple more minutes probably. We'll get into all kinds of things. Some of my favorites, I like doing a bunch of chicken wings out here. Love doing make your own pizzas on the pizza oven, and show you how to do those. That's a lot of fun. Kids love that one too. I don't have any kids, but if I did, they'd probably enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm a big kid. All right, we're pushing 200 now. Once you get it where you want, important to play around with. You can see the top here. So you've got a lot of different options as far as airflow. Get this open. The more air that you have coming through, the hotter it's going to get. So, once you get it going, you really just need these cracked just a bit, just to get you the right amount of airflow, to get you the temperature that you want to stay at. So we've hit 200, we're starting to go a little over 200 now. I'm going to get a little bit higher, and then I'll open it and throw my racks on. Because when you open it, put your racks on, the temperature usually drops back a little bit. So I take that into account and let it get a little bit hotter. Then once it's there, put the racks on. So then when it drops back, it's right at about where I want it to be. Then I'll let it sit another, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes or so, just to make sure that the temp's holding at where I want it to hold before I put on any of the meat. Clicking over 200. Here we go. Stir it up. We're starting to heat up now. So we're over that 200 mark. Start putting the racks on. So again, you want to burp it, like I was talking about earlier. There we go. Up in the lower rack. The main rack back on top. Close that up. See, that dropped down to about 150 when I did that. So now it's going to take a little while. So we'll let that sit for a little bit, and we'll come back and check on it. All right, now we're right at about 200 right here. So that's where I want it to stay. So now we're going to start messing with some air temps here. So I'm going to drop my top on here. Open it up. I'll show you this. So now we're right at 200, which is where I want to stay. So I'm going to close this up. We're going to open that up just enough. Go down here, we got this all the way open. We'll close that up just a hair. You don't really need a lot. Just enough. See that smoke still coming out of there. See, it's holding right there at about 200. That's what I want. That's dropping a little bit. But it'll heat back up. We don't have a lot of wind today, so crack that open a little bit more to get some airflow in there. See, now it'll start to climb back up. You really just want to mess around with that until you get it at the temp you want. So the more you open it, or if that's not enough, you can really open it, get the airflow. That'll get your temps going up a lot faster. And then when you get it where you want, then you're usually going to want to close it off. Usually you just need a little bit of air once you get everything kind of at the spot you want it to be in. And then once it holds for about 5 minutes even, then I'm ready to go ahead and throw the meat on usually. It's a cold day out here, so I'm going to open it back up and let this heat back up because that went down quite a bit to get it to where I want. And we'll be good to go.